the law of instant change. You can manifest what you want much quicker than you think. Quite literally quicker than you think. In fact, maybe even in a couple of days, a couple of weeks. And that's what this video is going to be about, because I'm literally hired by 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs, professional athletes, and Hollywood actors to help them manifest what it is that they want much more quicker than you could ever imagine. And we see people that seem to go through these phases where they go from one reality to another very instantly. Some people just seem to possess the capability to bring what it is that they want into existence quickly. And you have to know the law of instant change in order for you to do that. Now, is this an actual law? Nah, nigga, I just made it up. It's a bunch of characteristics and attributes that I found in my clients. I even have a client who built an AI company to 7 figures in 10 months. So not only is this video going to be a compilation of things that I've taken from clients, it's also going to be a combination of the things that I give to clients in order to get them to materialize and be in the reality that they want much more quicker than you think. And this can be extrapolated to a multitude of things, whether relationships, money, business, career. So you're going to manifest as quickly as Sonic, because he's fast. This is good, isn't it?
Very good.
This is good, isn't it? This is good.
Proud.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. But the important thing that you have to realize is that you've been sold a lie, and that lie is good things take time. But the truth of the matter is understanding that it is your consciousness that materializes reality. Good things don't take time, you make time. And that's a bar of that down. Now make sure to get your notepad out, take notes, and leave them in the comments as usual. Because in this video, like I said, I think some people call this a quantum leap, even though I really do hate that terminology. But we're going to be essentially breaking down the metaphysics of altering one's reality much more quicker than you think. There's a whole bunch of things that we have unconsciously that prohibit our ability to change our reality quickly. And the truth of the matter is, at certain stages, there is more to unlearn than there is to learn. So you're going to be unlearning a whole bunch of things that you've, I guess, accumulated over the years from the third dimensional realm and the sphere of. Now, the first thing that you have to come to a recognition of, like I said, there's actually more to unlearn than there is to learn. And one of the things that you have to unlearn is your perception towards manifestation in of itself. Because a lot of people get into manifestation and they work on their perception or their beliefs surrounding money or relationships or career or business. But what they fail to take into consideration is their perception towards manifestation in of itself. If manifestation is the mechanism through which you unfold what it is that you want, then your perception towards manifestation and reality creation is of the highest importance, because you create the laws of your reality. And if you create the laws of your reality, if you're unaware of the perception that you have to the mechanism that reality is unfolding from, then you could be shooting yourself before you even start the race in the first place. And what I mean by that is this. So oftentimes people say, how long does it actually take to manifest something? Now, typically, in the manifestation space, there's the notion of a delay. Now, the reason why I don't like the notion of a delay, whenever you hear people talk about manifestation, they'll always say, hey, there's gonna be a delay when it comes to manifesting what it is that you want. And the reason why I don't like a delay is because a delay is an indirect implication of something being late or not happening accordingly. And you can see this terminology, right, in everyday life when we think to ourselves, oh, my package is delayed. It's not really a good thing, is it? This pen is dying. It's not really a good thing when your package is delayed, so on and so forth. So we have to take into consideration how some of the terminology surrounding manifestation can actually inhibit our ability to manifest quite quickly. Because if you come to manifestation with a preconceived notion that things must have a delay, then not only do you end up creating a delay predicated upon the fact that you create your own reality, predicated upon the laws that you create for yourself, you then also begin to slow down reality materializing much quicker than it is that you actually want. Because I think everybody, when it comes to manifestation, would like for their reality to change fairly quickly. And to a degree, it's your desire for it to change fairly quickly that is also stopping your ability to change reality quickly. But like I said, first we have to look at the base terminology that most people use. There's a delay in manifestation. You need to get rid of that word. There's a stabilization period. You have to understand, when you emit a certain frequency out into the universe in of itself does something like this when you're oscillating between a bunch of frequencies. Let's say you're embodying the mental and emotional state of a certain income level, being in a relationship, having a career, having a promotion in that career. As you're stabilizing into that particular frequency, reality is attempting to stabilize your frequency. Think about it like tuning into a radio station. When you tune into a radio station, it's very unclear until you actually get the precise frequency. That's all that is taking place. But how could you ever instantly change your reality when you come with the preconceived notion that there's a delay in manifestation? Doesn't make sense. It's a complete contradiction. It's a complete contradiction that doesn't make any sense. Now, most people's definition of manifestation is predicated upon reality. It's about changing reality. It's about bending reality. It's about molding reality. It's about shaping reality. If your definition of manifestation is predicated upon reality, then you've already lost the game. And the reason why I say you've already lost the game is because you have to understand that reality in of itself comes with a bunch of illusions. One of those illusions is space-time. Space and time only exist within the third dimensional realm. There are constraints that only exist within the third dimensional realm. But when you come with the preconceived notion that manifestation is about altering your reality, you indirectly submit to space and time on the basis that manifestation is about changing reality. It's not about changing reality. It's not about changing reality. Esoterically, you can see this notion spoken about in Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. First, seek the state of consciousness equivalent with whatever it is that you seek to materialize. If it's a certain income level, then you must seek to embody the identity, self-concept, state of consciousness, frequency of that before the world proves it to you as a priority, as opposed to what the world can offer you. Because the unfortunate truth is, if you're not seeking the kingdom of God first, then you're indirectly seeking the kingdom of hell. And the unfortunate thing about the kingdom of hell is that hell, esoterically, they say that hell's eternal separation from God, but then religious people will tell you that you can never be separated from God because God is omnipresent. It's a misalignment with the infinite intelligence. And unfortunately, if you're misaligned to the infinite intelligence, then you're aligned with the finite intelligence. And if you're aligned with the finite intelligence, then you're aligned with limitation. Hence why you're experiencing limitation when it comes to your ability to change reality quickly. We all see people who seem to go to overnight successes. We see people, and I don't mean this like, I'm not talking about the niggas that you see online that are faking lifestyles, so on and so forth, but we all know people who have gone through catapults in their life fairly quickly, and they're unconsciously doing these things that I'm telling you right now. So make sure you're taking notes and leaving them in the comments. But like I said, your definition of manifestation can't be about changing reality. It cannot be about changing reality, because if you're hyper fixated on reality, then you're hyper fixated on an illusion. And if you're hyper fixated on reality, then you're indirectly adhering to space and time, because within this third dimensional realm, we adhere to linear time. Hence why people say stupid shit like, good things take time. Who the fuck said that? But that's the belief that the collective consciousness just ate up. And now things that are good seem to take a lot of time. Nah, I'm not with that. And neither are you. You're done with that. Yes, I've decided for you that you're done with that. Say, I'm done with that. We're all done with that. Now, like I said, manifestation cannot be about reality. It cannot be about the third dimensional realm. It cannot be about altering the physical plane. It can't be about making more money. It can't be about getting into a relationship. It can't be about getting a promotion. It can't be about getting the job. If it is about anything that is physical, then you will never be where you want to be. And I say that for the mere fact that reality is nothing more than an effect. And if your attention is focused on an effect, then you will negate and neglect the cause that is perpetuating and sustaining the effect. See, most people get into manifestation for the mere fact that they want to change their reality. We all did. That's why we're all here. But you have to mature at a certain point and come to a realization that your consciousness is more real than reality, because it is your consciousness that alters reality. And there was an experiment done, a Harvard experiment done by a man named Alvaro Pascal Leon. And essentially, they had this device called a TMS, a transcranial magnetic stimulation, a device that allows you to monitor brain activity. And essentially, he had a bunch of people and he got them to play the piano for 5 days. And as you can imagine, after playing the piano for 5 days, neural networks formed in their brain and new links in their brain formed on the basis of them playing the piano. That's not crazy at all. The craziest part is that then he took a sample group of another group of people and he got them to only visualizing playing the piano. And their brains still formed the same neural networks as the individuals who are physically playing the piano. Now, the craziest part about that is it shows that there's a connection between consciousness and physical. consciousness and physical. Only imagination was present there, but it was enough to form neural networks in one's brain, which means that consciousness is directly interconnected to the physical matter, meaning your brain, your neural networks. Now, to go back to what I was saying, your definition of manifestation has to be about one thing and one thing only. Your definition of manifestation has to be about you. Now, the definition that I say is manifestation is internally shifting to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change when you're good with it and you're good without it. Now, the important part about that is internally shifting. Because once you go within, you are transcendent of the illusions of reality. You see, when you go within to the kingdom of God or the temple of God, as it's stated in Corinthians, which you are, once you go within, you enter a realm that is void of limitation. Because once you go within, you're going into the infinite. Once you tap into the infinite, you're transcendent of the limitation being the physical plane. You are above space and time constraints when you go within. When you go within to the temple of God, the center of your being, the stillness center of who you are, your imagination, once you go within, you're at a place that is more real than without. And this isn't to say you become one of them niggas who never eat and you just meditate all day and you think that that's going to be okay, because you will die of starvation. So let's not do that. But what I am saying in this instance is that when your definition of manifestation is predicated upon the external, then you're trapped indirectly into the illusions of space-time constraints. But see, when your definition of manifestation is based on the internal, then when it's based on the internal, it's based on the infinite. And when it's based on the infinite, then you are above time. And when you're above time, things can change instantly. Manifestation is instant. To the question of when people say, how long does it take for something to manifest? You're not asking the real question. You're asking, how long will it take for something to appear physically into my reality, which is the wrong question entirely. How long does it take to manifest? Manifestation is instant. It's instant at the moment that you realize that manifestation isn't about anything outside of you, but it's about something that is inside of you. And what is inside of you is infinite. Pause. And because it's infinite, it's transcendent of space-time constraint, and you're above limitation. And when you're above time-space constraint, then you're no longer adhering to time. Because see, here's the paradox. Understand what I'm about to say. In order for you to materialize what it is that you want onto this physical plane, you must go within, and that means above the third dimensional realm. You must go beyond what you see. Hence why it says in John, do not judge according to appearances, but judge by righteous judgment. It's the understanding that the physical plane is nothing more than an illusion. Kabbalah, they call it the world of 1%. Hinduism, they call it the world of Maya. Scientists will tell you that we see 0.0035% of what actually exists, predicated upon visible light being a tiny portion of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. So, once you understand manifestation is an internal thing, then internal is void of space and time. So then manifestation is instant. And in fact, it is the prerequisite belief that manifestation is instant that sets things to be able to change instantly. See, once again, most of us adhere to linear time. And because we adhere to linear time, we think things have to take time for them to change. But what if it's the belief that things must take time in order for things to change that creates time in order for things to change? Things can change as quickly as you decide. How do I decide that? That's exactly what I'm going to show you. Bro, niggas looking. And it ain't a strip club if they ain't showing. Cool. Now, you have to understand one thing. The belief that good things take time, all things take time, because most of you guys, it's anything takes time, to be honest. The belief that things take time is the only thing that ends up creating the delay in of itself. You see, if you want to be able to tap into the law of instant change, then you're going to have to transcend time entirely. In fact, you're going to have to make the future a present reality to such a degree that you forget the future exists. That is a bar. Please write that down. I'm going to attempt to recount what I said. You're going to have to make the future a present reality to such a degree that you forget the future exists entirely. You need to take that reality that you seek to be in a couple of weeks and begin to embody that now. You must enter the self-concept of that now, the mental and emotional equivalent of that now, the expectations of that individual now, the way that person would react now, the way that that person would feel now, the thoughts that that person would think now. the perception towards that individual and how he or she would look at the world now. All of that stuff must happen now. The entire process of transcending time is just really a process of transcending linear time and entering the now. But understanding that one of the things that create the delay in of itself is the belief that things take time. Now, there's a couple of things that you have to understand here. Now, there are few truths in reality other than what the subconscious mind accepts as true. Meaning, if your subconscious mind accepts the belief that things take time, then that is going to be the ultimate thing that unfolds when it comes to your manifestation. Because you have to understand, when we say good things take time or things take time, that can be reflective of the things that you seek to materialize. Under that, the umbrella of that is money, relationships, career, meaning, even if you've been putting in the work, the inner work, the external work, because one thing that I have to say is that there's 3 planes of existence: mental, physical, and spiritual. You have to make sure that you're aligned in all 3 planes of existence in order for you to materialize what it is that you want. Oftentimes, most people are stuck in one particular realm of existence. I'll give you an example. The physical plane. Most people that are consumed by the physical plane think that hard work is the way to do everything. In doing so, even though they're focused on doing, they negate their state of being. And ultimately, it's your being that ends up sustaining and unfolding what it is that you're doing. So then they get locked up, trapped, almost like a fly that's trying to get outside the window by trying to pass through the window and bash into the window repeatedly without doing a 180-degree turn in their perception, in their perspective, in their frequency, their self-concept, state of consciousness, so on and so forth, and flying out through the door. Then you have people on the mental plane. The people on the mental plane are the people that only think all the time. They only think great ideas, but they never actually execute. They see themselves as a particular type of person, but they never bring that into physicality. Then you have the people that are trapped on the spiritual plane. This is your typical religious person or your typical spiritual nigga. These type of individuals either believe that they should sit there and manifest and everything should come to them, or they can just pray and God is going to give them whatever it is that they want. Hence why I say you have to make sure you're aligned in all 3 planes of existence. Now, to go to the point that I was saying here, the things that we want, or the good things that we've decided take time, end up taking time on the basis of the belief that they must take time. You see, your visualization, your manifestation, the thing that you seek to materialize, that thing could want to come to you. It could actually want to make its way to you. In fact, it could be floating towards you like this. This is you over here, it's trying to float. But for some reason, it's just stopping. It's just stopping here. Or it's coming more slow than it could. Why? Because you have the belief that in order for you to deserve it, it must take time. Now oh, sorry, I hit the microphone. This comes into something that's very, very important. You see, within the collective consciousness, there is a disdain towards things happening instantly. Because see, there's a part of your mind that feels as if in order for you to deserve things, it must take time. And this is intertwined with that belief, and it creates something very, very dangerous. You see, the collective consciousness has disdain towards things instantly. How do we know? What do you think about the guy who became a millionaire overnight? Probably think he's a fucking asshole, innit? What do you think about the person that meets their love of their life and then they fall in love instantly? You're like, this person's got no fucking clue in the world. Got no clue in the world. What do you think about the person who somehow skips the people that have been working at the company for weeks, for months, for years, and just gets promoted? You think, who do they think they are? You see, within the collective consciousness, we actually don't like things happening quickly. And we don't like things happening quickly because why would we? Because things don't happen quick for the rest of us, so why should it happen quick for this person? And see, the disdain towards things changing fairly quickly then does one thing in particular. It associates guilt with rapid change. Now let's be real. You want what it is that you want. But let's be real. If your reality was to actually change to the degree that you want it to, if you was able to manifest whatever it is that you want so quickly, you'd feel guilty. You'd feel guilty for the mere fact that rapid change is a drastic change. And a drastic change is a very stark contrast between the life of the people around you and you. Meaning, if the money flooded in overnight, very rapidly, more than likely the people around you don't have that level of money, which means that now you be the individual with that money. Now that's uncomfortable. Now you're like, damn, this money's coming in so quickly, but what about this person? What about this person? Same thing with romantic relationships. If in your group, all of you are just out here just dealing with pure litter in these streets, and then one of you happens to fall in love fairly quickly, it'll be like, damn, it's a bit mad. And the same thing can be extrapolated to career. Now, that guilt is directly intertwined with this belief, and this does two dangerous things. Now, your beliefs are the borders of the world that you can live in. And that's a bar, write that down. They say a bug's world is only as big as the leaf that it's on. And the leaf, in this instance, is your belief. I like how that rhymes. The leaf is the belief, and you are the bug. Now, your beliefs are the borders of the world that you can live in, meaning the belief that you have quite literally creates a border, and nothing outside of this exists. You cannot go outside of that belief. Now, combine that belief with the guilt associated with rapid change, and then we delude ourselves into thinking that in order for us to deserve things, we have to grind through it. Because guess what? We have so much admiration, we have so much respect for the person that works at the company for 120 years and then gets the promotion. We have so much respect for the woman that kisses 10 million frogs in order to get the prince. We have so much respect for the guy who goes through the dirt in order to finally get his diamond. We have so much respect for the business owner who's been grinding for 33 years, failed 100 million businesses just to finally get that one. There's this idea that's intertwined that rapid change isn't something that is deserved. And in order for us to deserve things, it must take a lot of time. Now, if you don't come to the realization that you have this, then you'll be an individual that can never actually change their reality as quickly as they want. And I mean this in every metric, because that belief combines with that emotion. And the thing about guilt is that we feel as human beings that the only way that we can alleviate guilt is through self-condemnation. Meaning, when we feel guilty for something, we want to punish ourselves in order for us to feel as if we're getting what we deserve. Combine that self-condemnation with the frequency of guilt, which is corrosive, and it distorts the frequency that you're moving at. Combine that with the belief, and then you have a recipe for things to never change quickly. And you have to be honest that you're experiencing these things. Because if you don't have the capability of being honest that there is a level of guilt associated with the rapid change, then you won't possess the awareness for transformation. Because awareness is the prerequisite for transformation. You can't change anything that you're unaware of, but you've been negating the fact that you actually might be uncomfortable with things that actually change fairly quickly. Because your first thought, most of us, our first thought is, what would this person say? How would this person react? I'm pretty sure most people's stress when it comes to winning the lottery isn't even winning the money, it's how everybody around them is going to act. And if that's something, let that testament be extrapolated to every other aspect of our lives. If you was to fall in love and be in that relationship, what would those people say? If you was to get that promotion, what would those people say? See, we're so concerned with what other people say that we're quite literally their prisoner. And Lao Tzu, one of my most favorite philosophers, he says, to care for the opinions of others is to become their prisoner. And it's true. Now you're probably thinking, okay, I understand. Maybe I don't want things to change as quickly as I want. And that's something you have to come to a realization of, because if you've been doing this work and you should have materialized this shit way quicker than you should have before, then that means there is something that is prohibiting you from moving forward. There's an aspect of your consciousness that's in direct contradiction with things unfolding fairly quickly. That's the one thing that you have to come to a realization of, especially if you've been doing the work. If you've been doing the work correctly, then yeah, there's definitely an aspect of your mind that is in contradiction. And I say these things to clients all the time, because when a client signs up to work with me, we work together for 7 weeks. And usually around the 9th to 11th week, clients start to get results, right? Because we space out the sessions. And in that time, I have to go through their mind to understand what could be all the things that could stop them from wanting to move forward. Because it exists. See, we naively just think our mind is just going to be on our side, right? We just think our mind is going to be on our side and things are just going to unfold easily. But you see this throughout many different spiritual cultures. In Buddhism, they talk about the monkey mind. In the Bible, they call it the devil. Scientists call it the reptilian brain. There's an aspect of our consciousness that is against itself, that in order for us to be led to where we want to be, we need to tame it. And you need to begin to tame the aspects of your mind of all the reasons why things wouldn't want to change quick. Now, you have to ask yourself one question in particular. 2 questions, actually, maybe 3. Okay, 2 questions. First question, do I believe that good things must take time? Because that belief in of itself is the thing that is inhibiting for things to change fairly quickly, on the basis that your mind feels as if it needs to earn and deserve and go through things for a large period of time in order for you to get what it is that you want. The second thing is, what would be all the bad things that would unfold if you got exactly what you wanted right now? Because see, oftentimes people say, oh, I want more money. Okay, but you indirectly know that would come with different problems. You know that might lead to alterations in the relationships with those around you. Do you actually want that? Because see, it's your naivete. It's your naivete in the idea that you just want what you want and that's it. It's not that simple, unfortunately. I mean, simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication, and we will simplify all of this as we do. But when I'm saying that, we often think we just want those things without realizing the experiences and the observations that our mind has cultivated and stored this amount of data in association with what it is that we want. You say you want to be in a relationship. I mean, do you really want to consider somebody else every time that you go out? Do you want to have to check with somebody that their feeling's okay? Do you want to have to kind of potentially walk on eggshells? Do you want to have to know what to think about, what not to say, what to say, how to move, how to not move? Do you actually want those things? You talk about wanting that career promotion, but do you actually want the responsibilities that come with that emotion? Because it's your neck that's on the line. Pause. Do you actually want that? You have to begin to actually understand that there may be associations with what it is that you want, that your mind may not be actually wanting that much. Because if you don't come to that awareness, then you'll be stuck. Now, I'm going to show you how to move all past that now, but it's important that you understand that. Now, all instant change requires two things. One, an emotional charge to be formed into the subconscious mind, and number two, a simple decision making. You know what, let me rewrite this. I'll actually put a decision first. Perfect. So, number one, a decision. Number two, an emotional charge. Now, in order for you to actually change instantly, we have to understand that, going back to what I said, my definition of manifestation is internally shifting to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing your reality change. If you want more details on that, Outsmarting Reality, Amazon bestseller for 6 months rated in all 3 categories with 4.9 rated with over 1,000 positive reviews. Link in the description. All jokes aside though, manifestation is internally shifting to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. When you're good with it and you're good without it. Now, you can only be good with it. You can only be good with it and without it when your mind is already convinced that you have it. Your mind doesn't feel like it's missing anything that it has, meaning that you need to create an internal state of frequency, self-concept, state of consciousness that suggests to your subconscious mind that you already have what it is that you want by embodying the mental and emotional equivalent of that state before reality proves it to you. And the way that you do that is understanding that the subconscious mind is predominantly programmed by emotion. Emotion is the language of God. It is the main thing that programs the subconscious mind. Emotion in of itself also turns into frequency because your emotion is energy. Emotion that emits a signature that we call a vibration. Vibration in units or in momentum becomes a frequency. Frequency is nothing more than equivalent of steam. Steam, ice, same energy. H2O, the only difference is their rate of vibration. Steam, matter, ice, frequency. Frequency is immaterialized reality. Reality is materialized frequency. Frozen imagination, that is the world that you live in. Now, emotion in of itself, like I said, is intertwined into frequency, but emotion is the main thing that alters the subconscious mind, specifically an emotional charge. Now, when I say emotional charge, I'm simply referring to emotional intensity. If you can form emotional intensity with whatever it is that you desire to manifest, your DR, then you have the capability of putting that idea into the subconscious. And at the moment it is within, it will be without. The moment it is on heaven, it will be in earth. The moment it is in your inner world, it will reflect itself into your external world. Now, emotional intensity in of itself can be seen throughout many different aspects of life. I always give this example. An individual only has to go through a traumatic experience once for their entire mind, their entire paradigm to be completely altered. Only once. Now, typically in the manifestation side of things, people talk about repetition, repetition, repetition. Repetition is cool, but it's a long-winded way of going about things. The reason why my clients can get results fairly quickly is because the thing that we predominantly focus on is creating an emotional charge in reference to whatever it is that they want. Now, when I say emotional charge, this is going to be unique to you. So don't let people tell you online, oh, you need to feel joy. You need to feel excitement. You need to feel happiness. You can feel whatever the fuck you'd feel. It's your reality. Upon you materializing something, there's a certain way that you react with the type of person that you are. I'm not really a nigga that gets gassed. I don't really get excited much. I'm never really excited. Mine is more like calm serenity, serene confidence. That's how I feel when things materialize for me. So I know that that's the state that I must seek to cultivate. I know that's the emotion I must seek to cultivate with intensity, serenity. If you're an excited person, then that's you. If you're a joyous person, then that's you. If you're a calm person, then that's you. If you're a secure person, then that's you. You have to understand how you would feel upon being in that reality, not how someone else would feel, because this is your reality that you're creating. Now, to go back to what I was saying, at the moment that you can create enough emotional intensity, of course, unique to you, surrounding your desired reality, at that moment, it will enter your subconscious mind. When it enters your subconscious mind, it can only be done once. Because see, to go back to what I was saying, there's this notion in the realm of manifestation that you have to be visualizing things for 30 years in order for it to unfold. That's complete and utter nonsense. One emotionally intense experience can alter your life completely, negatively. That's trauma. But everything exists in duality. If it can exist for trauma, it can also exist on the positive side of things. And if it can exist for the positive side of things, then it's about your ability to intentionally cultivate that emotional state that you'd feel upon being in that reality, because emotion is a more intense degree of power than thoughts. Emotion is more powerful than thought. Emotion is more powerful than thought. Emotion is more powerful than thought. How do we know? Because you could be in a fucked up emotional state, and then that will be the source of your thoughts. You see, it's not the other way around. Our emotions typically are the source of the type of thoughts that we place ourselves in resonance to. Because like I said, emotion is energy, emotion, vibration, frequency. Frequency then brings thoughts that are on resonance with that. So the calmer that you feel, the more calm your thoughts are going to be. But have you ever been angry? When you're angry, it's just like, you hear nothing but bad thoughts. It's just stuff that just makes you angry for no reason. It could be nothing. Something that's not even that deep. You could have poured some water and you're like, fucking glass. Look at this. Has nothing to do with nothing. It's your emotional state that is a more powerful source. And we see this. Research has been done by the HeartMath Institute to show that we produce 2 electromagnetic fields, one from the heart, one from the mind. The one from the heart is 60 to 100 times more powerful than the one of the mind. Your heart is a very, very powerful source. Hence why in Islamic culture, but originating from the Egyptians, your heart must be lighter than a feather. Right? Your heart, as it says in Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart because life unfolds from your heart. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The heart is directly interconnected with the subconscious because heart produces emotion, emotion, subconscious mind. So essentially what I'm saying to you is, whatever it is that you want to materialize, your priority should be cultivating the emotional state that you'd feel upon being in that reality. There's 2 ways you can go about this. This is the same method I give to my clients. You sit down, lay down, relax, however long it takes you to feel as if you're relaxed. It could be 5 minutes, 15, 20, 30. I was actually on the phone with a client of mine the other day, and he repeated that verbatim back to me because he's watched my video so many times. But anyways, you bring a scene in which somebody that you love is acknowledging the materialization of what it is that you want. They could be saying, I knew you was going to make X amount of money. I knew you was going to get the job. I can't believe you got the promotion. I'm so happy. I've never seen you in love like this. Something that they would say upon being really happy for you. That's going to cultivate emotion. Keep it nice and short. When it's short, just loop it again and again and again and again. I knew you was gonna make X amount of money this month. I knew you was gonna make X amount of money this month. I knew you was gonna hit X amount of subscribers. I knew you was gonna get the promotion. I knew you was gonna get the job. Just something simple that somebody that you love, somebody that would genuinely be happy to see you manifest what it is that you want. So the emotion is genuine as you're visualizing it and you're hugging them or high-fiving them or fist bumping them, whatever. The more that you do that, the more that you're going to cultivate emotional intensity. Now, this works beautifully because remember what I said. you must be good with it or good without it. But how do you get to a point when you're good with it or you're good without it? You get to a point of being good with it or without it when your mind is already convinced that you have it anyways. But your mind will be convinced that you have it anyways, predicated on your subconscious being given the emotion that immerses the idea into your subconscious. It really takes an instant. The second way is that you could quite literally just ask yourself, how would the version of me that has feel right now? And just sit with yourself in stillness, cultivate that emotional state and hold it. And you hold it throughout the day. And it's gonna be like this, right? You'll be in the center, something throws you off, you bring it back. Something throws you off, you bring it back. Something throws you off, you bring it back. If you can just consistently ask yourself throughout the day, how would I feel if I had this? How would I feel upon having this? How would I feel upon having this? Then you're going to end up cultivating the emotion, the emotional state of that version of you. Then you combine that with the idea that you already have it and you've been having it and it was always going to be yours, so on and so forth. Then you begin to transcend time, because remember, you must make the future a present where you have no longer conception of the future by embodying that state, that mental and emotional energy that you would then. Now, I also say a decision. Because things change from the moment that you say they've changed until you say otherwise. That's a bar, write that down. Things change from the moment that you say they have changed until you say otherwise. And see, we say otherwise, not verbally, we say it mentally. Because let's say you're embodying a particular state of consciousness. Let's say you're embodying a state of making a certain amount of money. And you say, I've changed, I'm in that state. It's a simple decision, a relaxed, simple decision. The moment that you begin to say, but no money's coming in so far, you pulled yourself out of that state. It's fine if you get pulled out the state. Frequencies oscillate. That's a bar, and it rhymed. It's okay if you get pulled out that state. Frequencies oscillate. Bring it back. It's fine. Don't make a big deal out of it. Just bring it back. Just bring it back. Bring it back. And then at that particular moment, you'll come to the realization that the moment you put on the jacket to the moment you take it off is a moment that you changed. And see, another trick that the old frequency plays on us is convincing us that intrusive thoughts or thoughts that are in contradiction to our state are an indication that we're not in that state. It doesn't work like that, because even in your desired reality, you'd still have conflicting thoughts. So why do you have this idea you'd be fucking perfect? That's not the truth of the matter. You see, even in embodying the amount of money that you want, you're still going to get the odd thought. That's fine. Don't make it bigger than it actually is, because it's through your perception that you magnify, and then you actually end up creating a thought that pulls you out of that state instead of just saying, oh, that's just a thought. I'm still in that state. You're in that state until you say otherwise. Think about it like being an actor all day, right? That's essentially what it is. You're in that role until it's time to cut, but it never cuts. Now, if you do want help manifesting quicker, easier, and want to track your frequency in real time, you can join 18,000 others by downloading Frequency, which is my app where you define the version of you that already has it, and then they guide you every day until you become them. Link in the description. Instant relaxation is instant manifestation. That's a bar, please write that down. Because you have to understand one thing in particular. Relaxation is very powerful. Relaxation is powerful because once you're in a state of relaxation, your brain enters theta, alpha. Alpha, theta, these are brainwave states. Theta is 4 to 8 hertz, and these are brainwave states to which your subconscious mind becomes present. You see, in order for you to actually materialize what it is that you want, we have to make sure that the work that you're doing is actually going somewhere. I'll give an example. We as human beings, when we're active and focused, we are in a state called beta or beta. These are the waves. They're very, very fast. Think about it like trying to catch a train. It's very hard to jump on a train that is moving very fast. If you want to jump on a train, then let it be slow. It's easier to catch when it's slow. This can be extrapolated to the idea that the alpha and theta wave brainwaves are much slower than beta. And this comes to getting ideas to latch into the subconscious mind. The more that you can consistently immerse yourself in relaxation, the more opportunity the work that you're doing, the self-concept that you're cultivating, the frequency that you're trying to embody, the more chance that has entering the subconscious mind. Now, understand one thing in particular. Like I said, most people do this work day in, day out, but it goes nowhere because they're throwing seeds in infertile soil. The subconscious mind, if you want the most fertile soil, then you have to be in a state of relaxation, which means you have to consistently immerse yourself into things that relax you, things that keep you still. You need to make sure that you're consciously meditating, you're consciously taking time out to just do nothing in a day. And I really do mean that, because the more that you can cultivate stillness and relaxation, the more open your subconscious mind is. When your subconscious mind is open, you have more of a chance of entering the club, you, the desired reality, entering the club of the subconscious mind. And then when it enters the subconscious mind, it has a capability of materializing itself into reality. The quicker you can relax, the quicker you can manifest. See, a lot of people actually struggle to instantly change their reality because they're so stressed. But of course you're fucking stressed. Your life isn't the way that it is that you want to be. But that's not the issue. The issue isn't necessarily the things that happen to you, it's what happens inside of you based on the things that happen outside of you. And what I mean by that is this: life is going to do whatever the fuck it does. We cannot directly control the events or circumstances that life deals out to us. Indirectly, yes, but directly, no. Can I say I'm going to walk outside today and get given 100 million cash? No. Indirectly, I can place myself on a frequency to become in resonance with that version of me that then deserves that, shift to a particular parallel universe, bring that here, so on and so forth. But directly, no. So it's important that you make sure that you're in a state of relaxation as much as possible on the basis of the fact that life is going to do what it does. But in response to life, you must cultivate stillness, calmness, and relaxation intentionally every single day of your life. What if, just let me throw a crazy thought out here. AJ is looking at me like I'm about to say something that's going to get the channel get absolutely taken down. But anyways, what if the degree at things, or the degree at which you want things to change, is directly proportional to the amount that you relax and immerse yourself into stillness? See, as human beings, for whatever reason, we demonize relaxation. I'll give you an example. If I end up taking a nap, I'm pissed off. I hate taking naps. I just get so angry when I wake up because I'm just like, how useless are you? Like, I hate naps for whatever reason. Like, I'll wake up from a nap and I'll just be like, what are you thinking?
I hear it.
Even the idea of not working for a couple of days, it makes us feel uncomfortable. There's this, I don't know if maybe it's the effects of capitalism or it's just human being attaching our self-worth to our work to our self-worth, whatever. But we hate not to do anything. Not doing makes us feel very uncomfortable. Pascal said most of humanity's problems stem from an inability to be by themselves alone in a room. The more that we can immerse ourselves into stillness, the more that we can actually touch godliness. So what I mean by that is this: Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." In order to know or tap into the infinite, you must immerse yourself in stillness. Stillness is the prerequisite to touching the infinite, because the infinite exists through the gateway of our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind only opens when we are in a state of relaxation. The more that you can consistently make yourself relax throughout the day, the increased likelihood that the work you're doing is going to reach the subconscious mind. And if that increases the likelihood of that reaching the subconscious mind, then you increase the likelihood of manifesting what it is that you want. Clients are always shocked when we start working together and I'm like, all right, cool. I want you to take a week off work, do nothing, go have fun. They're like, what? They're like, yo, I paid this guy $50K for this advice. Like, what is this? And one thing that you have to understand is this: you see, a demonization of relaxation is a demonization of the manifestation of your desired reality. Because if you can't even relax, then you can't create brain waves that are producing alpha and theta, which are 4 to 8 hertz. And if you can't produce those brain waves, then your subconscious mind will never be open. And if your subconscious mind is never open, you never get to alter your subconscious mind. And if you never get to alter your subconscious mind, you never get to alter the sequence and chain of events that unfold in your reality, because they all stem from your subconscious mind. Relaxation is of the highest importance, I don't know why my voice broke right then, but it's of the highest importance. I can't stress it enough. Now, if you're an entrepreneur who's made millions, you have the correct knowledge, skills, strategy, so on and so forth, and for whatever reason, even though you have everything that should work, you're still stuck, it's more than likely you have some type of subconscious block or distortion in your frequency, and that's exactly why I'm hired by 7 to 9 Figure Entrepreneurs. So if that's you and you want to work with me and solve that problem, then you can apply to work with me, link in the description. Together. Cool. The final thing to instant change is being able to tune into intuition. You see, your intuition is the version of you that already has what it is that you want, reminding you how you got there in the first place. And that's a bar of that down. Now, that version of you already exists. And once you begin to become in resonance with that version of you by embodying the mental and emotional states of already being that person starts to send you their thoughts, an instruction manual, a blueprint on how to cultivate that reality. We call that intuition. But the thing about intuition is that your intuition is only as valuable as your ability to execute it quickly. You see, once you start to consistently put yourself in relaxation, the more you're in relaxation, the more you access the subconscious mind. And the more you access the subconscious mind, the clearer you'll hear your intuition predicated upon that relaxation. But if you don't have the capability of executing that intuition, then you actually never bring your desired reality into place. See, a lot of people, there's things that you know you need to do. There's things that you know you should have done a while ago. There's things that you know you must do in reflection of your desired reality. And you keep putting those things off. And the unfortunate thing is, if you put off intuition, then the version of you that's attempting to guide you on getting to that reality will just eventually stop talking. And when they stop talking, you're fucked. Quite literally. It's of the highest importance. The individuals, those individuals that just seem to make the right moves, they know what moves to make, they know what moves not to make. It's because they're tapped into their intuition. They're tapped into their intuition predicated upon the conviction and relaxation that they're already the versions of them that they want to be, whether they realize it or not. And then that version of them is saying, make this move, don't make that move. And that's what's allowing for things to unfold fairly quickly. Individuals that unfortunately don't change their reality quickly, they don't tap in their intuition, because your intuition comes from a realm outside of this third dimensional realm. Your intuition is transcendent of this third dimensional realm. It's beyond the third dimensional realm. It's beyond the physical plane. It's from another world. It's from a place where space and time doesn't exist. So if you capitalize and you execute information that's coming from a realm where space and time doesn't exist, then you start making space and time exist in your desired reality, and you make that here. That being said, that is the law of instant change, ladies and gentlemen.